structure and the function of the xylem. I want you guys to let me know what you remember. Alright, what is the general structure of the xylem that we remember? Go ahead. General structure of the xylem. Anyone can go now.
It's continuous with no cell walls, and it has an annular structure and a spiral structure. It also has, it's narrow, and it has lignin, which makes it waterproof.
Alright,
And it has pits will help it with like sending waters to lateral parts of the like sideway branches and stuff.
okay, lovely. We have the lateral transverse movement of water through pits. Lovely. Alright, so we have those important features. Right, thank you for that response. So let's look at the xylem. Let's start with the composition. Alright, so we have the trachea elements, right? So we have tracheids, right? And these are usually the long, narrow cells, right? With thick and lignified walls that are tapered at their ends, right? And they lack any type of perforation plates, right? What the tracheids do, they flank the vessel elements, right? And provide both the conduction of the water and the structural support of the entire xylem, right? So waters would move through pits in the cell walls, right, from one tracheid to another, right? So the tracheids will have generally the lines and pathways for the pits to move water laterally throughout them, right, and through the xylem cambium, or well not xylem cambium, the xylem parenchyma, in order to reach other xylem, right? Remember xylem are tissues, you know. Okay, but the cell elements as well, so we know that they're shorter than tracheids, they're wider cells, right, arranged end to end to form a continuous tube called vessels, right? So the ends of the walls have perforation plates allowing for free movement of water, right? So they conduct water more efficiently than tracheids due to their wider diameter and continuous columnar format, right? And they reduce the resistance to flow of water, right? So looking at that specifically. So looking at a tracheid and a vessel. So tracheids usually flank the vessels, right? So they're usually surrounding the vessels, right, and contain the pits for the lateral movement from one xylem vessel to another, right? And here we have the xylem parenchyma. Right? So here I have the vessels specifically with the sieve pores. With the perforation plates, right? The pores, not sieve, but perforation plates. Right? And we have the pits in the sides of all of them. Alright? So tracheids are tapered at the end and don't really support the movement of water as well as vessels, right? So they usually we say that they are better suited for they're better really there, right, for the lateral movement of water throughout the vascular bundle, right? So we have that there, the xylem vessels, tracheids. The xylem fibers are also there that helps with structure, and we have the xylem parenchyma there, which are general parenchymal cells, all right, which are most definitely alive. Okay, so we have the xylem parenchyma. So these are living cells within the xylem that store starch and other types of substances, right? So the xylem parenchyma would be these green cells around them. So everything blue is dead, right? Everything green is alive. So they store nutrients that assist with the repair and maintenance of xylem tissue. Remember that the xylems can't technically do it by themselves all that much because they're dead for the most part. So the xylem parenchyma will assist with the maintenance of xylem tissue. Alright? And so we see the tracheids between two xylem elements. Right? So you can transport water from one xylem element laterally to another xylem element. Or yeah, vessel element, right? So I have that there. Xylem fibers now. So these are usually long and slender cells that are really thick and lignified, right? And they basically provide some mechanical strength to the plant. That's generally what they do. Xylem fibers, not much to say about them, really. So it's really giving that support, right? Mechanical support to the plant. Some notable features about xylem, we have the lignification, right? So xylem cells are heavily lignified, providing rigidity and resistance to decay, right? So lignification strengthens the xylem and prevents any type of collapse over the high tension and water pressure that is passing through the xylem at each time, right? And the tension created by transpiration pull and by root pressure on these things, right? The lignification helps the structural integrity of the xylem to make sure that they don't rupture under high pressure. All right. We also have the pits now. The pits are found within the tracheids and vessel elements that facilitate the transfer of water laterally, right? We have simple pits and we have bordered pits. Usually when we talk about pits, we're talking about the simple pits, right? But bordered pits are more complex, right? With tortoise, or what we call a thickened section, regulating water flow and preventing air embolisms, right? So they prevent air bubbles from forming within the the xylem vessels, right? So they help prevent that, right? So if air is there, we're gonna have an embolism. It's the same thing like a pulmonary embolism or anything like that. When air is in the blood vessels of a animal, right? Same issues can occur when air, right, is stuck within the xylem vessels. It prevents the proper movement of water. So the bordered pits will try to prevent any type of air embolisms there. Okay. So we have that there, and we're looking at the water flow. So we're looking at how the pits, right, via the tracheids and the vessels, right, the pits can actually support the movement of water laterally. So looking at lateral movement. Okay. So we have that there so far. Everybody is good so far. Information is fine. All right. Everything seems great. So I haven't reached any interestingly difficult parts yet. So the perforation plates now, right? So we know that the xylem vessels are ordered end to end, right? And they have these openings at each end, right? So they would have perforation plates. Sometimes the perforation plates will just actually degrade, right, into just one continuous like pipe, right, or vessel, right? But usually have these simple perforation plates, right? But the simple perforation plate, and we have the scalariform perforation plates, right? So there are different structures of these plates, right? So have these. So they enhance the movement of water, right, through the plants, right, and reduce the resistance, right? So it's because of these large gaping holes, right, it reduces the resistance of water, right, as opposed to something like a fluid which should have tiny holes within the sieve plates and increases the resistance of the movement of sap, right? So it's gonna be different. Okay, so we have that there. So the simple perforation plate and the scalariform, right, perforation plates, they generally do the same thing, but they have different structures. Scalariform looks different from just a simple. All right. Now the structure function relationship within the xylem, right? We know that xylems are here for water conduction. They help with the movement of water throughout the plants, right? So they're designed specifically for this. So the tracheids and the vessel elements, and we spoke about the pits and the movement. We spoke about the perforation plates within the vessel elements. They all are here for the movement and or conduction of water throughout the plants, efficient transport of water, right? So looking at that, and the perforation plates are there to reduce resistance, allowing for rapid movement of water and for essential long distance transport, right? So we're looking at these things. They are important to note about the xylem, right? The structural support, the lignified walls, right? So lignification and the presence of xylem fibers are here to support, right, the structure of the plant itself, right, and the vascular bundle, right? So increasing the rigidity of these structures to prevent any type of structural damage due to transpiration pull, the water pressure caused by transpiration pull, right, or any other type of issue, right? So it provides additional mechanical support or strength for the plant itself, right? So it provides that strength against gravity, right, that would bring it down, and to provide some amount of strength to the xylem vessel specifically, right, so that they aren't easily ruptured under high water pressures caused by transpiration pull. Okay, Everything is fine. Everything should be fine so far. We also have subsidiary rules. So look at the pits preventing air embolisms, right? And the xylem parenchyma is used to support, well not support, but to store nutrients and for the maintenance of xylem, right? So these are subsidiary rules, right? They aren't usually mentioned, but these are rules that could be used, all right? Remember in biology, information and specificity is key. Right? They are your friends. Okay? So really looking at that. So that's the subsidiary rules of the structure of the xylem specifically. Alright? So looking at that, so that was really, we have completed 1.1, objective 1.1 to 1.3, right? And we're moving to objective 1.4, right? So objective 1.